101.5 FM, and of course the man himself, that is Van Morrison. How are you this morning? It's nice to have your company. It's a beautiful day today. Harriet's in here, a whole bunch of people are in here, and I think I might swing into something right now. I'm going to hook up a microphone to the one and only, get into all the information. Now, we have Mr. Adam Haines, hopefully, on the other microphone. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks,
I
mate.
can hear you fine there, Adam. How are you this morning?
Yeah, very well.
Now, you're a part of an organization called LOGOV. Can you tell me what that acronym basically means?
Oh, LOGOV, mate, L-O-G-O-V. It's an abbreviation for local government.
Okay, now that sounds interesting. We're talking, is this a statewide thing or just something pertaining to the Brisbane area or what?
It's actually a statewide expo.
Okay, so the expo itself is going to have what in it?
It's a works expo, so the reason it's entitled LOGOV, local government, it's a chance for businesses to display their services and their wares to local government, any companies that basically supply to infrastructure.
Okay, run us through some of the key people that you're going to have at the expo then.
You've got larger companies that work with roads, bridges, parks, gardens and things like that.
So these are subcontractors that work with government, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, all right, so we're talking about like the transport, like the Wiley Bridge perhaps is one key example. Would that be the sort of people coming on board, people who are doing the bridge at the moment?
Yeah, companies that service that and supply products, lots of heavy machinery.
I've seen the big trucks going down the roads, and my goodness, lots of police cars having to escort the things, because these things are huge, they take up 2 lanes. Big responsibility and costings and all that sort of stuff must come way heavily into what you're trying to do, obviously to make sure you're delivering a product that's out there, and these people are often behind the scenes. Am I right?
Yeah, that's pretty much right. What you're going to see as far as visitors come is it's a very big deal for this area, because we're going to have visitors that are coming from all over the state. I've got buses coming in from Gundawindi, for instance, people flying in from Mackay. It's the show for local government people where they can keep up with the latest innovations in their industry.
Now, Adam, one of the things that is coming to fruition is, of course, a huge push in the state of Queensland to get infrastructure happening to incorporate more jobs, obviously, and then that's a big thing. So obviously, we're going to see a lot more activity happening in months to come. Am I right?
Yeah, I think there will be. LOGOV always seems to time itself fairly well before the next budget's written, so that's why these companies want to get out there and expose themselves to the councils. Not only the councils, we'll have main roads there, the water utilities, and obviously for the public works industry to be aware of the latest innovations. They do save them time and money, so it's important for them to come along and keep up with what's cutting edge.
Within the expo itself, and obviously, where's this expo actually going to be held?
Well, it's the show itself's 30 years old. It's been in Logan for the last 15 years. Logan City Council hosted it previously. Now Moreton Bay Council are going to host it, and we've actually moved it up onto the same site as Go Expo, or as a lot of other people would know it as the Farm Fantastic site.
Sure.
Just up on Pummerstone Road.
Okay, now, how many people are going to be there? Of these organisations and people that's connected to all of this are going to be there?
The amount of exhibitors that we have are around about 220. We
Really?
have 40 indoor. We've got a 100-metre air-conditioned pavilion with about 40 exhibitors inside of that. Probably more the technical side of things. In the pavilion as well, we've got a corporate function room where Moreton Bay Council are going to host a corporate business breakfast, as well as they're going to do some presentations over the 2 days explaining the up-and-coming capital works projects that are coming up in our area. The Moreton Rail Link is one, for instance, that main roads are going to come in.
That's going to be very interesting, because a lot of people are talking about that. They sort of cannot wait for that to happen. There's a lot of people that's
big topic in this area, 120-year-old topic. Yeah.
And how many days is it running?
It's 2 days. It's October 10 and 11.
Okay, October 10, 11. Yep.
Yeah, and look, most of the locals here will be fairly familiar with the site. The parking's the same. We won't have as many people. We have about 6,000 over the 2 days.
Okay. I was going to ask some numbers.
Getting in and out's quite easy, but the difference with LOGOV Expo is the free entry, I suppose.
Is there a cost to entry for general people who want to come in?
No, free for all. Free.
And what about workshops? Are they going to be held as well?
No, what we have is live demos.
Okay.
But one of the reasons to move up to the new site is so that we can have a live dig site. Previously at Logan we were on a couple of soccer ovals where we weren't allowed to dig holes basically and show off the heavy machines.
But up here you can do all
up
of that.
here we can go crazy. So I've got a massive dig site set. I've got most of the big machines will be sitting next to the dig site with, I think the viewing deck's about 80 metres long where you can watch the dig site, and it's all live streamed on a big giant like a rock concert sized
Really?
TV screen. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, obviously, there's going to be lots of questions being asked. That's obviously going to be okay from the general public? They can ask these people questions?
Yeah, sure they can. I suppose what they'll do is they'll stand there and watch the machine, and then they'll see where the site is that machine's being displayed or that company is, and they can go over there and ask questions.
What's going to be the biggest vehicle there?
It's hard to say, mate. I mean, they get some massive machines.
Tell me about it.
You've seen road graders and things like that. There's some pretty heavy gear.
Giant cranes,
down to
that
the
sort of
smaller
thing?
stuff too, like the Terex and the 3-in-1 digger that you get out of Midway sales at Burpengary. I think they're displaying this year as well. But yeah, right up to the big boys' toys.
You know what I found fascinating once, a long time ago, down in another state, I saw these, they were doing some water mains repairs, and how they dig out the old tubes, if you like, or the old pipes, and put in the new ones. That was a fascinating. Will they have demonstrations on that sort of stuff?
Yeah, that sort of thing. There's a company called Vacuum Digger, funny you say it. Sometimes it's very hard to dig around these pipes without snagging an electrical cord in the
Indeed.
footpath, so they have one that actually blows the mud with heavy pressure water, turns the dirt into mud, and then they suck it out.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were seeing down in the other state where I was, and it was fascinating to watch. And so quick, they could do a whole street in probably a couple of
look,
hours.
there's plenty to learn for locals as well. It's a chance for locals, and I'm trying to appeal to broadacre, big acreage owners here that are DIY.
Yes.
As they are in the area. I'm from the area, so I'm aware of that, and they can come and see how these guys do things. They can see things like the prefab uni bridge, where they can turn up with a prefab bridge, drop it over your creek in an hour and drive away.
Really?
Yeah,
And how
I
long
think
does it
they'll
take to
like
put-
that one.
How long does it take to put up something like that?
This is something that came out during the floods that the councils utilised, where there was areas that were basically tied off because they'd lost their bridge. There was only one bridge in and out of the area, so uni bridge came into the fore where they can turn up and put a bridge over a creek. In those situations it was like a 2-week turnaround, but if you've seen how long it takes to build a bridge, that's pretty quick.
That is pretty quick. One of the other things that and that is a yearly thing. This happens every year. Is that right?
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years,
Yeah.
sorry. And with it, you're showcasing all of the new innovations that are coming out,
Yeah,
basically.
that's right, basically.
That's going to be fascinating. So I'd like to go along to that myself first, and maybe we can cover that on the day. That'd be kind of fun. And for me, too, it'd be a great learning exchange. But I encourage people to go along to it, because that's the catalyst, that you wanting people to come along to see exactly what's going on, the new innovations that are coming out, and how the Queensland government is utilising, or the local governments in Queensland are using these tools, if you like, to make things happen.
Yeah.
And with all the developments happening in the northern suburbs, like Caboolture, with expanding population, new roads have to be built, and certainly having to get through creeks, hills, whatnot. All the infrastructure you're talking about is part and parcel of getting that to happen in the quickest possible moment.
Yeah, that's right, and a great opportunity for our local companies in the area. Obviously, Moreton Bay have embraced the getting a hold of Expo. It's like Adelaide losing the Grand Prix to Victoria. It was a pretty
Yes.
big deal for Moreton to get it.
And I'm very
it's a
proud
great
of-
chance for our local businesses to expose themselves to the whole state public works infrastructure, and hopefully pick up some extra business. For
Who do you
themselves.
credit mostly for getting it back up here? Yourself, or as a whole team of people?
Oh, no, the previous manager retired, Gil Holmes. He did a fantastic job for the entire 30 years of it, but he broke 70 and decided it was time to hang up the boots. He'd actually retired from his day job 6 years previously, and couldn't let LOGOV go, but he did eventually, and then it came to me, and basically we found the site up here. I live locally, so it's very handy, and the best thing about the site is that we can dig. We don't have to worry too much about wrecking the infrastructure on it. It's very hard to find a place to have a gig this size without worrying about wrecking the ovals because of the size of the machines and the trucks that are driving in on it. And up there at Lance and Leanne's property there, it's good. We can certainly have a bit more fun without having to worry about costing ourselves a fortune at the end of the
let's
day
recap. Let's recap on the dates. 10th, 11th of October, and it's located where once again?
It's at the Go Expo site on Pummerstone Road, or as most people know, as a Farm Fantastic site on the corner of Pummerstone and the Bruce Highway. It's exit 157.
Okay, and no admission. Anybody can come along. And what time do you start it in the morning?
It's 8:30 till 4:30.
On both days?
Yeah, come on up. The Caboolture Lions are running a clubhouse up there. You can sit on the deck and have a coldie while you watch the dig site. There's shuttles coming from the station, but I do suggest everyone just jumps on the website as we do these days.
Now, what is the website? Very important.
It's www.logov.net. And it's got your shuttle times from the train station and any other details there. Who's exhibiting, stories from exhibitors, so you can really have a picture of the website and see if there's anything there of interest. And
once again, how many exhibitors are going to be there roughly?
220, 40 indoor and about 180 outside. Yeah.
And you're going to see it all there. We might talk a little bit further in just a few moments. We have a couple of commitments we're going to do right now, and we want to get you back online. Just a couple more questions for you, if you don't mind hanging about.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome. That is, of course, Adam Hain, who's in the studio live talking about LOGOV. We'll have more on LOGOV in just a few moments. Of course, we're all talking about LOGOV, the exhibition. Now, we're going to be there on site too and doing some interviews, I understand, as well, Adam.
Yeah, you will be. You'll be live from the site, doing interviews with particular exhibitors and people that we think will be of interest to the local community here, and as well as the mayor. You'll get to have a chat with him too.
That'll be awesome. I look forward to having a bit of a chat to the mayor because I haven't had the opportunity yet, and I look forward to that. And also, it's good to see the council in concert with yourselves and with ourselves, bringing the whole thing together and getting the message out there. And of course, we're encouraging people to come along to the event on the 10th and 11th of October. And free admission, of course, is the bonus, isn't it? And the shuttle buses, you were telling us before, so there's going to be buses from the train station? From
the train station. There's 3 in the morning and then 3 that go home again in the afternoon, so they're not an all-day thing, so I suggest you jump on the website and look at the times.
There'll be timetables set up there, and you'll be able to keep up to date with all. And now the website, once again, was logov.net, LOGOV.net.
That's right.
And get along to that once again. Your involvement, how long has that been in all this?
I took it over in January. The company I work for is called the Institute of Public Works Engineering Australia.
Really?
And an arm of ours is called the Queensland Public Works Foundation. What the foundation does is raises funds for scholarships for people in public works.
So if
the whole event basically.
Sorry to cut in there, but if young kids wanted to get a scholarship, this would be a good opportunity to go along to this to perhaps get more information about that. Would I be right?
Oh, look, no, I'd suggest for young kids come along and look at career opportunities and maybe some things that they might want to pick up.
Yeah.
There's certainly a lot of engineers and that sort of thing milling around that they could meet up with. But
sure.
No, the scholarships are for people that are currently within public works that
right.
We'll subsidise and help them do a scholarship or something that they want to. They just have to apply to us.
Okay. But it's certainly a good place to find out career paths, and that's an important thing today.
I think that's a good concept, mate.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we're full of concepts here at 101.5 FM. And your involvement, once again, how far back does it go?
Yeah, only to January. I'm actually from the construction industry, but I started working with the Institute of Public Works a couple of years ago, and lo and behold, now I'm also an expo manager.
How you enjoying the challenge?
I'm enjoying it immensely, actually. Yeah,
all coming together.
Coming from a building background, it's building and it's sort of like creating a party all at once. So I'm right into it. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to having a drink with you on the day, and perhaps when it's all over. And perhaps we can have a post-mortem after it too. If you'd like to come on air, I'd love to have you on board.
Yeah, I think we can have a wrap-up and see.
Yeah, we can have a wrap-up on that. Now, I understand we're going to be doing some further interviews with other people within the group. Can you perhaps touch base with me on that one? How that's going to work?
We'll have a look at some companies and sponsors. We've got sponsors, obviously, that help these things come together. But I'll sift through who I think informatively is good for the local community. That products that they might want to come up and look at. Things like the air compressed backpack. I think that's a good one.
Is that one where you sort of can float around in the air, sort of?
No, you can run around with a nail gun anywhere you want.
It's a portable device to allow you to do your work, obviously.
Look, there'll be quite a few things. Sediment control, I think, is something that broadacre owners around the area probably aren't up to speed with as good as what they could be.
What about fire trucks, that sort of thing? Is anything touching on that? Like
nothing along those lines. Anything that builds infrastructure, basically. So anything you see in parks, on your roads, on your landscapes, anything that creates any of that infrastructure could be on display.
I'm so looking forward to it all, and we're going to be heavily involved here at 101.5 FM, and you're going to be with us most of the time, I guess, taking us through most of what we'll be discovering ourselves live on air.
Yes, apparently I've got to come on the radio at least another 2 times. So.
I'm looking forward to it. and in the mix of all that, anything new that you want to sort of release to us that might be a bit earth-shattering, as it were?
Yeah.
No pun intended on that one. We'd love to hear from you, and you're going to be back here again, next week, is that right?
I think so, yeah. So
awesome.
No, I'll keep everybody posted for earth-shattering news, yeah, definitely.
Harriet, you're going to be going there, aren't you?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm looking forward to it myself.
Yes, I think it'll be great. I was going to say, Adam, exactly what's the reason for holding this? Just sort of show local people how things are done.
Yeah. For local people, they can look at how the big boys do it, but but more importantly, for the reason we have it every 2 years is because we find after a 2 years period, these companies have come up with later, greater creations, or they've got a hold of a U-Butte idea from across the other side of the world, and they can't wait to talk about it. Yeah. So we give them the opportunity to do that, and there'll be live demos as well as it's not just the dig site, there's live demos around at the sites as well, which is all on the website too. So
I sort of, sometimes you drive past a building site or some other thing like that and you think, well, look at that one leaning on the shovel and that one leaning on the wall, and you think, why does it take so many people to do that job and why does it take so long? Well, this is a great idea for people to look and see why or how
what
it's
is
done.
Involved. It would be an eye opener because you can. I know as the general populace, you can look at the budgets that they talk about too, and how long they take to make these things, and you think, crikey, I could have done it for half that.
Right.
It's quite often not accurate. If you actually go and have a look at what's involved, it's pretty heavy duty.
Yeah. So
I think there's a lot to learn for everybody on how to do a job on a broader scale. Yeah.
Yes, it's all right to dig a little trench in the backyard and put a hose down to the back garden sort of thing. But
well, there's one of the sponsors I should mention too, is Dial Before You Dig. Before you go digging anything, you should call Dial Before You Dig. Paul Newman and his setup will be down there. They're actually the sponsors of the dig site this year. So come and have a chat to Paul, and he'll tell you how to do it free online, and make sure you don't hit any mains earth and
see why you
blow a big giant hole in the ground.
Put everybody's phones out of commission for the day. I think it's going to be very interesting, and I certainly urge the public to go out there on the 10th and 11th of October.
That's Wednesday and a Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday, and see for yourself, folk, just how it's done. And as I said, I used to think, well, lean on the shovel, lean on the wall, I could do that, but that's just momentarily as you drive past. It is an extensive job, or I'm not quite sure how to put into words what I'm trying to say here, but just so everybody can see how it's done and why it's done, and see the equipment that's actually used to do all these jobs.
Yeah, terrific. It'll be good to see everybody there.
Lovely.
Indeed. I'm looking forward to it. It's time now. It's 29 to 10 o'clock this morning, and plenty more still happened this morning, and we do thank Adam Hain for coming in here and explaining all that to us. Now I'm a little bit more enlightened. I'm looking forward to going out there and getting into the mix, get my hands dirty, as it were. 101.5 FM. Thank you very much, Adam, and we do look forward to having a bit more of a chat to you down the road.
Thank you, Tom.